Hi, so just going to do a quick video on my approach to decals. So what I do is, and what I'm going to put my decal on is this Imperial Fist Leviathan. And if you have seen any of my models I've posted on the blog, you'll see that they're all pretty weathered and beaten up looking. That's the sort of theme I'm going for with this army. And whilst I sort of chip the paintwork with a sponge and some black paint at times, or with a brush and some really sort of targeted scuffs and chips, I didn't think it looked right if all the decals were absolutely crisp and perfect. So what I do with these now is I chip away at them a little bit with the tip of my craft knife before I sort of cut them out. I try and make it look obviously totally random, make it all kind of different, but ideally look for places where there'll be a sharp contrast with the colour underneath, so that you can see the chipping coming through. So, and then I cut it out as close as I can to the edges. It's really easy to slip and go into the decal, so you've got to be a little bit careful doing this. Then pop it out. And I should say that before I do any of this, I have usually sprayed the model with a varnish of some sort. In this case, I used an Army Painter can of matte varnish, which went on last night, so it's nice and set now. So there we go. I stick the decal into a small pot of water, usually something kind of shallow, because you don't have to go digging down in the bottom of a big jam jar, and you leave it in there for about 30 seconds, maybe a little bit longer sometimes if the decals are a bit bigger. And we can turn our attention to the Leviathan itself. Where am I going to stick this decal? Probably I'll try and get it here. Well, I use Microset and Microsol. I can never remember which one you use first. So let's have a look. So Microset is the last one you use. Okay, so Microset is what we're going to use. I'm going to take a little bit of this and just put it on the surface of the model, and that just sets the area ready to receive the decal, helps it sort of conform to any lumps and bumps you've got in the area, and helps sort of melt the decal onto the model itself. So this stuff, Microset and Microsol, I mean, I bought these a few years ago. As you can see, I've not really used much of it. It's one of those things, like, I think I'll buy and probably have it for about 10 or 20 years. You use so little each time. But they have totally changed my view on decals. I used to find that they didn't conform to the shape of the model. They looked really fake, and that didn't work. That didn't work for the look I was going for. But once I started using the Microset and Microsol, and then also varnishing over the top of the model, you lost all the shine from it, and the decals just sit so nicely on the model. It looks really good, I think. Here we go. So this is what I do. So I've taken it out of the water. I just touched it with my finger just to see if it moves around, which is what you want. And then I just sort of hold it on here and let it slide off and into position. Now once you've got it roughly in situ, it takes a bit of moving around just to get it lined up spot on. I want to just drop a little bit down. Just need to take your time with this and get it how you like it, because it's not going to move once it's set. So you've got to get it right at this stage. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. Okay, now what you need is a bit of tissue paper or a little bit of kitchen towel. And what you're going to do with that is give it a bit of a dunk in the water, get it nice and wet. Okay, so a little bit of a dip in the water. Make sure it's nice and moist, and then form yourself a little sort of pad. And you've got to be a bit careful with this. So you can bring the decal off when you do it, but you're just going to gently sort of push the decal into position and push out any of that excess fluid from underneath it. And when you do this, you can really start to see them taking place as they should do. I think that looks pretty good. Always worth standing the model up and just holding it as it would stand, so you can double check you've got the decal aligned correctly. Okay, and then once you've done that, you can take a little bit of this micro sol, the red stuff, or the red bottle, and then just load a little bit onto your brush, and then I just dab it on top of the decal quite generously. Oh, blast, it's moved. That can happen. Nudge it back into place and just leave that on top. Now that this part of the solution is really going to melt that decal onto the model. Okay, that's where I want it. And I'm just going to leave it like that for, I don't know, maybe 20 minutes, half an hour, and then give it a bit more of a dab with this cloth, and it should be done. And once I've got the rest of the decals on this guy, I will varnish him, and probably with a matte varnish, because I don't like the shine, and you won't be able to tell it's a decal at all then. And that's it. Cheers.